Infinite Odds. And while these teams may not have played against one another with the current Infinite Odds roster, I'm actually liking a lot the team that have come together for Infinite Odds, and it'll be interesting to see how Cognitive face off against them, still looking for their first win in the NACL.
Yeah, Cognitive kind of having a little bit of a rough patch here. It's still 0-5, but Infinite Odds 2-5. They played 7 games so far. Cognitive still looking for their first win, like you said before. Either way, we're seeing the bans fly through here. We saw Zed, Renekton, and Cass from the side of Cognitive being banned out. And you don't want to see Jinte's Cassidy, you want to see Jinte Zed, and then you don't want to see I Can't Use Renekton top. Very solid top laner from him. Caitlyn getting banned away from nothing here. As Optimus Tom tweeted out a little interesting statistic that Caitlyn was the most played AD carry so far in the NACL, so taking that one away from nothing here. We're going to see Jax get banned away from iDream, and the final ban to come in, I'm not too sure what it's going to be. Could be Elise. It looks like it is going to be Elise away from Ziploc.
Yeah, and banning out that the Caitlyn, sorry, I was about to say the Cassidon, which has also been banned out, but Caitlyn, one of the reasons she's been so huge in NACL is because a lot of challenger teams, one of the first being Complexity, which we'll see later on, I can almost promise you that's pick or ban coming out in that matchup as well. It allows you a lot of early pushing opportunities, but going against a Corki, I would almost have rather seen a Corki ban just because I feel like he brings so much for you. You saw the things that Cop was able to do in the bottom lane versus Maple Street in the first game of the night. So that's going to be an immediate Corki pick. Without banning Caitlyn, you're just going to give away the Corki, and that has to mean that Infinite Odds knew what they were going to go up against. So they let the Corki pick go, knowing they were going to play against it. We'll have to see what they decide to pick for bottom lane to not necessarily counter that out, but how they're going to deal with that. Whether or not it's going to be a 1v2, and I guess we'll get to see that a little bit later on once we get into the game.
Yeah, and already Thresh and Corki bot lane is going to be a devastating lane to deal with, especially with the squishier of the supports being that not the Zamfara, the Zyra. And we're going to see Lee Sin for Captain Ziploc here. And they're looking to hover over Ezreal right now. They insta-lock that J4, though, so that's going to be a J4 jungle for Sicko Scott, or an Aatrox jungle. We have seen him play both. I've seen him play a lot of it. But it is going to be Ezreal for Lotus down there with Zyra for body drop.
Yeah, the Zyra pick, we saw it be so huge in the last game. Even though it doesn't offer sustain, it functions so well at not only counter-engage, but also just giving you CC to capitalize off of ganks. Really lends you a lot in the lane, but with an Ezreal locked in as well, I feel like there are stronger combinations, but it's going to be up to Lotus to just use that not only aggressively, but also works pretty well in 2v1s when you try to freeze the lane away and get a lot of poke damage, setting up for the 3v1 dive once your jungler shows up. So we'll have to see how that works out, because keep in mind it's going against nothing here, and Zane King. There's a lot of interest behind Zane King coming in, replacing Valkyrin on Cognitive's roster. It's a new matchup once again. We talked about Cop combined with Zekent. A lot of new bottom lanes out there in LCS, in NACL. There's something that there's a strong bond coming in there. And
Lulu.
Okay. When we did our introduction, it should have been, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cognitive Gaming, who have the most famous AP mid Lulu player in the entire world, Zamfira's Lulu mid. If you guys have never seen Cognitive Gaming play, don't know who they are, or have never heard of Zamfira, there's this champion called Lulu, and similarly to Quas and Swain, Zamfira and Lulu just go hand in hand. You guys are in for a treat, and so are the rest of us. I'm excited that as champion that everyone knows Zamfira plays made it through picks and bans, as apparently Infinite Odds aren't too scared of that.
He hasn't been playing it a lot recently. Sometimes he gets banned out. Sometimes he just goes for more the meta picks, that Orianna, that we've seen him play Diana a little bit. We've seen him play Zed. We've seen a lot of things out of this man. He plays a plethora of things. I'm pretty sure his Lulu isn't rusty. I'm pretty sure he still plays it. But that's going to be so cool to see. And we're going to see Orianna get picked up to combat that, though. And I'm pretty sure Zamfira, I think it's Zamfira, has a lot of practice against that one, as it's going to be Aatrox jungle as well for Sicko Scott and iCanYou taking J4 on the top lane against Shen.
Zamfira, there we go.
Zamfira,
so we gotta give it credit where credit is due. So that's gonna be our final rosters locked in there. We will see Lulu mid and Corki bottom. Those are All right, picks and bans are important, and taking Jax away from iDream is good and everything, but letting Shen through, we saw what Quas did, just single-handedly almost dismantling Velocity in their game versus Curse. Now iDream on Shen, we'll see if he goes for the same build. Probably not, but with nothing here and Zamfira as the carries to back him up, I'm pretty sure he can do whatever he wants and know that the backline is going to take care of business for Cognitive.
Yeah, and I wonder what the build's going to be coming in from Lulu versus this Orianna mid. It's probably going to be Athenes, and then maybe going for Death Cap and Voice Staff, just go for the typical AP standard. And Lulu's scalings aren't the best, but they do a surprising amount of damage you would not suspect, especially with some magic penetration coming in there. But we keep harping on this. Let's see the other stuff going on. It's gonna be Ziplock's Lee Sin jungle going with J4 jungle coming in from Sickle Scott, and then that bot lane matchup of Ezreal Zyra, not the tankiest line, going up against Corki Thresh, who have a lot of cash potential as well as burst potential. And we could see the 2v1 swap come out mid or top, especially against that Lulu lane.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the lane matchups work out because not only is Shen a little bit better in that 1v2 than Aatrox is, they both have a lot of catch potential once ganks start to flow into their lanes. So we saw what Quas did, just single-handedly winning out a lane in a 1v2 situation. It was the jungler and top laner, granted, but it'll be interesting to see if without that Caitlyn being locked in, we still see as sort of an early turret pushing strategy come out for either one of these teams. I'd give it to Infinite Odds because Cognitive know if they just let nothing here in Zane King sit in a 2v2, they're going to have a very strong chance of winning out that lane.
Yeah, and I can't use Aatrox is going to be going up against iDream, so it was swapped up. I thought it was going to be Sickle Scott's Aatrox jungle there, but okay, so that makes a little bit more sense now.
All right, so I'm with you there. I'm liking what I'm seeing. The Aatrox in the jungle with Jarvan top would have worked. We'll be seeing Napkins in Disguise play a little bit later on. Inox capable of great top lane Jarvan play if you've ever got a chance to see that. But this time around, going with the more standard lineup when you have both Jarvan and Aatrox. With the top lane Aatrox, he's looking to get sustain advantage over Shen early on. So we may actually see a max W instead of E, but with wave clear being so important, probably we'll see just the standard lane there. It's going to be interesting not only to pay attention to the top lane, but also, like we said, the mid and bottom are going to have crazy action on there. Zamfira's Lulu combined with Captain Ziploc kind of camping out that mid lane is a force to be reckoned with where I'm going to pay a lot of attention.
Yeah, and with that, we're going into the spectator leg, guys. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break as well as a nice little music break for you guys. But also, don't forget to check out our sponsor, Loot Crate. You can check them out down below me, actually, on that box. You can click it. It's in the Twitch description. And you can check out the nice little subscription that they have there for $13.37, spelling out LEET, as well as they send you a package every month with some nice little goodies and knickknacks and a lot of nerd accessories to come in for that. And
Back to the North American Challenger League. I am Rapid, with me is EGAD. We're out onto the Rift for our second game of the night. It's going to be Cognitive Gaming coming out in the blue, taking on Infinite Odds. Cognitive still looking for their first win, looking to find it here tonight.
And whipping out the Lulu to try to pick up that win here is going to be their objective. While we do have a looking to be a very defensive start from the side of Infinite Odds, as they might scout out the invade from Cognitive. They're waiting in that crescent brush there by the entrance of the blue. They're just a river across from each other, so close they could almost touch each other. But now body drop over there, just going to stand in the brush. And who is going to make the first move and who is going to scout who out first? We do have Ziploc leading the charge. Going to throw out that Sonic Wave, and it will spot out Sicko Scott, and no one is going to die today.
Yeah, unlocking the freshness of that bush and really keeping his team, the rest of his team safe. iDream hasn't quite skilled anything up yet, but as the shockwave, or not shockwaves, but the resonating strikes continuing to land onto that one hit out onto Lotus. You're going to keep going in there. Oh, not to the ward in time enough to kill it out. But either way, both teams pretty sure of where the other are. And with Zane King finally getting the opportunity to ward out that red buff, Brush will back on off for now. Cognitive content to play this more passively, but you can tell that Infinite Odds aren't quite on the same page. They will actually walk through a ward going for a late red invade.
Yeah, and with that, they are going to drop some deep wards. Biodrop going to get to Man Protect, going to drop out a ward in the entrance of the brush, as well as be spotted out by another ward that was placed there by Body Drop. So we are going to see the 1v1 up top, no 2v1s going on, but nothing here is walking straight towards the opponent of Infinite Odds, and he will get a nice foster spawn to try to scout out the brush, but the red buff is going to be stolen away. They see him doing it. They're going to force the smite from Sicko Scott. He's not going to hit level 2, so he's going to have to do that blue buff as fast as possible and try to clear up anything he can, but Ziploc was heading towards red to start, so he's going to be behind exponentially compared to Sicko Scott. And yeah, just going to see iDream versus iKennyU up here. A lot of damage to be poking back and forth, while blue buff is going to go to Sicko Scott. He's going to hit that level 2, be almost level 3. While we do see in the bot lane, the poke coming in from Body Drop and Jame Lotus. That is going to be the Mystic Shots and Roots, as well as the Q coming in there. We're just farming back and forth. Level 2 achieved for Lotus over Zane King, and Nothing Here hits a nice Mystic Shot there. They're going to apply a lot of pressure to Nothing Here. Going to be looking for all the auto attacks that they could get. Level 2 achieved for Body Drop, so now has Roots, now has that Q, and can outpoke this bot lane quite heavily.
Now, we're going to see a confrontation here as both junglers want the red buff. Sicko Scott actually doing raids, assuming that his red was already taken, but now going up against Ziploc. Ziploc smote his blue buff because he had to do it by himself, so there's no smite to take away the red, which is actually, oh, there's red buff onto Ziploc. He's going to make it out alive. He saw Zemfira able to get over there and help him out just a little bit, but either way, Sicko Scott there in time to secure himself his third buff of the game. Will be able to take that one away should he choose to, but with red buff on him already, there's no need to take that down just yet.
There's definitely no need to take that down just yet, but up top though, iDream is winning out on the trades against iKennyU. That Vorpal Blade Harass is hurting quite a lot, and I don't think we're going to see a Quas-esque build this time around, as he won't need the Spirit Visage for the Vladimir damage. But now we have Sicko Scott going to his golems, going to try to hit level 5 as fast as possible. He's already level 4 after a nice steal, while Ziploc is lacking behind. We haven't even talked about this mid lane yet. The auto attacks coming in from Zamfira on Jinte. He does eat that dissonance damage and is trying to poke out as much as possible. Let's see if he's maxing Glitter Lance right now. Yes, he is. So for going Whimsy and just going straight for the raw damage that Glitter Lance and Help Picks can provide.
Hasn't picked up Whimsy just yet. Now, with Jinte on Orianna, Orianna's actually a pretty good champion to go up against Lulu because you both have empowered AP-based auto attacks. Work out pretty well. Zamfira's will scale off of magic penetration more, so you'll see him actually go back to base very early on to pick up Sorcerer's Shoes as his first item. At least that's his usual item progression, but we'll have to keep an eye on that as it does progress. I haven't actually talked about bottom lane other than their very early trades. Now, as they're both starting to hit level 3, level 4, we could actually see a little bit of interaction from Sicko Scott going bottom lane. Ziploc's not going to be in the wings to either counter that out, and with the Lantern Dark Passageway used to keep the bottom lane safe for now. Cognitive usually look to their bottom lane to be a source of strength, but it's going to be bottom getting camped out there by Sicko Scott. Top lane, Ziplock's in there. Taunt lands on to Kenny. Looks to dark dive away, but dark flight rather. Kenny will respawn off of his passive. It's a 1v2 for right now. Will flash away, drops the slow. Will force out one more auto attack, but Ziplock looking to hit the Q. Can't hit the Q. Does land the slow. He's looking to go through the turret. Ziplock's gonna take the last turret shot, but his first blood goes over to Ziplock. Kenny with the retaliation gets 100 less gold.
Yeah, so 400 gold for Ziplock there on that Lee Sin. Still equalizing it out 1-1, but giving the lane over to iDream is going to be much better for him. He can shove it out or freeze it like he is right now. But in the bot lane, the harass coming in from those plants is still just being so annoying, and the bane of Zane King and Nothing Here's existence. And that chase down was really good, but a nice dodge from iKennyU away from the Sonic Wave. But a good Tempest Cripple combination coming in from Ziplock did help him catch up and secure that first blood, which is pretty much the bigger objective here, and just a 200 gold deficit between the teams.
Before that buy of boots for iKennyU, Captain Ziplock was 5 movement speed faster than Kenny was. So the longer they ran, just by the narrowest of margins, Ziplock was catching up and able to just barely get it raised for the last auto attack to pick up the kill. It doesn't get a lot closer than that. We'll see first and second blood go down top lane. And after all the action there, it'll be interesting to see this middle lane start to heat up as Captain Ziplock will wait in the wings, looking to get in there. Sicko Scott is actually there. Oh, double skill shots landed. There's Command Shockwave looking to lock Ziplock up. Will pick up 1 kill. Can he grab a second? There's Sicko Scott looking to jump in. Canceled the jump in with the Wild Growth and getting a little bit of a Shen ultimate there. Keeping him safe. Standing united in the middle lane while iDream, after saving his mid laner, walks back to top.
Hashtag Lulu Mechanics using that ultimate to disengage from that engage from Sicko Scott there. That knock-up interrupting him mid-flag and drag. We do see Zamfire sustaining back up and keeping himself in this lane. He built Thorn's Ring as one of his first few items with those boots, so looking for a lot of front-end damage and the flask to help him sustain and spam out as much as possible. While up top, iDream and iKennyU just trading it out back and forth. Vorpal Blades and so on, all being traded out there, while iKennyU just auto-attacks and sustain as much as possible. But yeah, that Lulu in the mid lane is proving to be pretty annoying, and some nice ganks from Ziplock is helping his laners get some kills.
Ziplock, yeah, traditionally more of the sort of pressure style jungler, not the Meteo style where you just farm up, get super far ahead, and then try to crush everyone. Is very dedicated to helping out his lanes. Usually you'll see him pressure mid a lot more than top lane, and you can see right back in there looking to get another Q on to Jinte, gets the slow down there, then Fear with the slow as well. Glitter Lance to come out. Holy cow, that dealt a lot of damage. With only 50 AP, Glitter Lance is still dealing 240 damage. Massacre top lane. Kenny gonna get the Dark Flight onto iDream. A couple more auto attacks is all it's gonna take, and with the last one not gonna come out.
Wait, what?
Was that minions? There's no
The minions
red
blocked him. The minions blocked him, and then the range minions picked up the kill on iDream. But down bot, we see an engage coming out. Ignite on Zane King. Oh, one more auto attack from Lotus is going to pick that one up. Nothing here is going to drop body drop there. Take him out, and they trade both supports. Both AD carries picking up those kills, going even. And now Zamfire forcing the flash out of Jarvan. You'd never think a little Yordle could make a king or a prince feel so scared.
Top lane as well. Kenny versus Ziplock is going to be kind of a focused matchup this time. You wouldn't necessarily expect that, but Kenny escapes alive from the second encounter they had there with iDream. iDream, apparently the earlier version. Now we're all the way on Bull's 5th generation or something. Sicko Scott back in the jungle is kind of behind on itemization when you look at Ziplock, who actually went double Doran's Blades, and now is low enough on health that he's actually too scared to go in on Ziplock, who will steal away his red buff. So getting a little bit of vengeance for having that robbed from him earlier on.
Oh, Ziplock. There you go. Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike. Gonna drop the Tempest, and no Haku. Where's the Haku? He's looking for him right now. Red buff is gonna try to get the attack for the slow, and he gets the Sonic Wave before the Command Protect, and picks up the kill, but now he's gonna use Zamfire to get out of there with a safeguard, and this Lee Sin is all over the place. You'd think he could actually see.
Yeah, Zamfire just being a point of safety, knowing that, you know, it's not just Shen that can stand united on the cognitive roster. Captain Ziplock will take himself over a blue buff, probably will give this one away, considering that he has one of his own after taking out Sicko Scott. So with a blue for Zamfire and nothing for Jinte, that's really going to set him further ahead in that lane. Another thing to note is that we didn't see early magic penetration from Sorcerer's Shoes. Actually came out in the form of a Haunting Guise after, like we've mentioned, a lot of support from Ziplock in the lane. The kick
Ooh.
under the turret pops. The passive Blood Will is on, and a nice Q landed. Ziploc going behind enemy lines, taking out Private Kenny. I was going to be beset by Sicko Scott, but with double buffs and the level advantage, 8/7, Ziploc's not in too much of danger. Now it's actually Sicko Scott who could be in a little danger. There's Ignite with the Shadow Dash in there, and one after another. Perfect tower dive.
Mid lane, Jinte.
Jinte will fall. Zamfira able to pick it up, and Cognitive looking strong, poised for their first win of NACL.
Well, it's still a long way before that win comes out. We do have potentially the first turn of the game, though, going down up top as Lee Sin and Shen push that one out. And actually, it's still relatively healthy, so I don't think it will fall to this wave, as IKENIU is rushing up there as fast as possible. But still, the rotation from Ziploc up top, diving that kill, getting 2 kills, one for himself and then one for his Shen, making him huge. And then the solo kill in the mid lane from Zamfira on that Lulu against Jinte's Orianna. We have a dive coming in the bot lane right now. The Shen ultimate comes through and a double taunt lands through them as he spawns the auto tech from nothing here to finish off body drop, as now Lotus falls to iDream, and the aggression is relentless. While the dive up top from IKENIU on Ziploc, he gets the hook to the face. The safeguard gonna try to shield up that Ignite, and Sicko Scott is gonna get soloed out here by Zamfira. He's got the blue buff, he's got the health picks, he's got the glitter lance, and he's got the kill, and that is gonna be overall 3 for none globally just after respawns.
You don't give Zamfira Lulu. If you take the game late enough, as the previous roster of Gold Gaming Los Angeles found in one of the only times I've seen Zamfira's Lulu lose, back in Season 1 of MCS, if you take the game late enough, late game Lulu does not do as much as late game Orianna. The only problem is you have to make it there, and with as much pressure as Ziploc has been applying to that mid lane, helping Zamfira get to that 4-0-0 mark, it's the snowball's already rolling. It's cruising downhill, and I don't really think there's enough global warming here from the roster of Infinite Odds to try to melt that before it lands.
I don't know about that. There's still a huge potential. Aatrox skills really well, so does Orianna, and Ezreal, when he does get that Trinity Force build coming through, it could be a problem, but up top, iDream is gladly trading with IKENIU with his Sunfire Cape. There's the Massacre, and then the Sustain coming in. He's trying to get whatever damage he can, and it looks like the shift actually saved Lotus Vindy from that Hiku, but now they ignite and they're turning this one around as the box comes out. Body drop gets flayed in, but nothing here is no longer resistant. Zamfira coming in from the back with the Glitter Lance picking up because he's looking for 2. That is one bloodthirsty Lulu. Body drop is very low. Can he get him with the Glitter Lance as a ward over the side? Can he snipe this one out? But Jinte's there and he gets it with the Glitter Lance through the wall. The blind shot. Zamfira has not done his giant growth thing, and he's gonna use everything he can to get out, but the Lantern from Threshold just disengaged while IKENIU is fighting iDream up here, just sustaining back and forth. Warful Blade, Sunfire Cape, dot damage, taking him low. Wow, a nice dive from Zamfira, making that a 2 for 1.
My level of advanced analysis of that team fight was that Zamfira is a god, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as the game continues. Sicko Scott.
He's trying to steal blue. Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay, all right. Heart attack avoided, blue buff secured, and that will go over to Jinte. Sicko Scott, like we mentioned, even against Ziploc, started with a 1 buff advantage. Should have been able to stack that out. Zamfira, Egad, maybe you can help me out with some of this itemization. It's just picked up an item you don't really see all that often in competitive play.
Alright, so I guess he's feeling very confident in his build right now to go for a straight Soul Stealer to get the raw AP from that. Does he have any stacks right now? I don't know if I can see it. It looks like 5? I don't know. I can't see how many stacks he has because it looks really small in this client and this UI, but it doesn't look like he's...
Yeah, he just bought it, so he's sitting at 0 stacks. He can't, refund it after getting kills. That was patched a while ago. But either way, it's looking to be worth it. 6-0-0.
It was actually a kill in bot. They just took out Zane King there with a nice combination of damage.
Yeah, and keep in mind that was a kill off of a gank from Ziploc coming in, trying to get a little bit too hyphy with that. Zane King getting taken out. 0-2 right now, so starting to drop down in gold value, and I guess will still be effective, but at the same time, it's nice to see Infinite Odds down in that middle lane, 6-0 versus 1-3. Not really going to come back anytime soon, but bottom lane, where they do have the advantage, 3-2 now on Lotus. This Ezreal is starting to pick up. There's actually the knockup canceling the Valkyrie, forcing the flash out of nothing here. Kenny's going to get on to Zamfira, trying to get the sustain from auto attack, but you can't auto attack when you're a bunny, and I think
was it IKENIU going on to Zamfira, or is Zamfira going to IKENIU right now with iDream coming in, gonna pick up the kill with the Vorpal Blade and that auto attack passive? And now a tier 1 in the bot lane is going to fall down, as well as a red buff steal. And Ziploc lands a Sonic Wave, goes in with the Resonating Strike. Shed Ultimate comes in. He's going to look to turn this one around as he has the safeguard. And the EQ does not connect for Jarvan, and Body Drop going to get dropped again as the Cataclysm coming in. And he connects the Sonic Wave, gets the kill with the Ignite to pick up the kill with the help of iDream there. And now they're going to dive even further into Sickle Scott and the Rocket. Gonna pick up the kill for nothing here, and wow.
Has
global
Ziploc
pressure
missed a single Sonic Wave this game? I don't actually think so. He just seems to chain those one right after another, following through for the extra kill given over to nothing here. And for right now, with Zamfir actually getting assist off of that, we'll only have one stack on his Medjays, but definitely making a strong case for changing NACL to nothing actually counters Lulu.
Ha! Alright, I like this. But that is a really good name. Blue Buff's going to be going over to him as well. He's soloing that one out. The tier 1 in the bot lane does fall. And it's going to be a 3-0 turret lead in the favor of Cognitive right now, who are having a very strong performance as well as a nice 8k gold lead.
8,000, definitely where you want to be, around the 16-minute mark. Not something you see that often, but off of a very strong mid lane that we'll probably keep coming back to. But you also have to focus on top lane. We don't see quite the same Quas level build out from iDream, but he has only built one defensive item, and now is going straight for that Trinity Forest Rush. Blade of the Ruined King, though, finally completed for iKennyU, will help him out immensely in that matchup against Shen that wants to stack out on health. He's going to be able to counter that out just a little bit, but
Zephyr just flashed in bot to get the Tempest Cripple. He's got red buff, he's applying it, and Lotus setting the two-shot rush the wrong way. The Hikku comes out, the red buff is applied. Zyra looking for the passive damage, doesn't connect, and Rockets are connecting as well, forcing the barrier out of Lotus. They're chasing him down, nothing here, looking to get what he can, but Sicko Scott gets flayed back, caught up by the Death Sentence, and gets destroyed by nothing here, and still, Lulu could not find a single stack from that.
Lulu not able to get in on the action. He's now going to roam back mid lane where iDream is trying to catch in onto Jinte. Does not have Shadow Dash up for another few seconds, but there's Wild Growth for the slow. Command Shockwave locking him up, but it's just not going to be up. There's the Shadow Dash. iDream coming in once again, only giving Zamfir one stack on his Medjais.
Yeah, a really good job with that Giant Growth to knock him up and slow him down, and then get Shen in range with that taunt to pick up the kill. As now the tier 2 in the bot lane is looking to go down here. A few more auto attacks will secure that one, but Body Drop with the plants and the root connecting to Zane will apply some harass and relieve some pressure from that, but it's still only a few more auto attacks away. While in the mid lane, iDream and Zamfire applying a lot of pressure to this turret, while iKennyU has just been farming up top as much as possible and still pull the ACS lead over iDream, who's been helping his team out a lot more.
That will be the secondary turret in the mid lane going down for a still perfect turret score of 4-0. Right as I say that, Scumbag Kenny kills the first turret of the game for infinite odds. And with Shen not in lane anymore, Kenny's doing the best he can at pushing that out and punishing iDream for teleporting around the map. The only problem is that Cognitive are capitalizing off of that more than anything that Kenny can pick up. If he had taken down the second turret top lane, might have been worth it. But even still, with iDream coming back in, he's going to be able to push that all the way home. And with all of the advantages that he's had, not just from lane, but also from getting assists off of Stand United, he's going to be a little bit stronger than Kenny. You can see Kenny realizing that, doesn't go back to the top lane and try to split push him out, just walks down the middle, and right as I say that, once again, Kenny takes a little bit of a turn for the worse, as if he had, caught malaria or something. He's going to be going back to top.
That's terrible.
I mean, that's what happens when things take a turn for the worse. If you never played Oregon Trail.
Well, okay. That game was actually horrible, but either way, we are going to look to see where they push out next. While nothing here, and Zane can go down bot. Massacre was popped up top, and iKennyU going on to iDream there, and just forcing him out with that ultimate damage. Zamfire is looking for some more kills to stack up for that Soul Stealer, though.
So top lane, we do get, once again, that matchup, Soul one-on-one, but with Ward scouting out Scuba Chris coming in. Actually, it wasn't a Ward, it was Captain Ziploc following closely on his heels, trying to avoid any shenanigans. Top lane, iKennyU starting to get an on for damage on iDream. There's the Ignite going down, the Shadow Dash away. Sicko Scott coming in from the opposite side, gets the dunk, double dunk there for 2 points.
Wow.
Kenny actually going down, Sicko Scott getting taken out, iDream dominating. There's a miss on the Sonic Wave, but Kenny just cannot get away in time. A double kill comes out. iDream now 7-1-5. Saw what Quas did in game number 1, is looking to make a repeat performance.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful kick, kicking J4 away from Shen right there and keeping him nice and safe. There's the Destinus through the minions as he picks up the kill. It looks like one more auto attack will do it, and the Rocket picks it up. Rampage for nothing here. He's critting away, has that Trinity Force, just laying into the support and AD carry. Zamfire was there to clean up if anything. He is going to clear the waves out, keep Jintei away, and that is going to be a tier 2 down block and fall in favor of Cognitive, as well as 4 kills across the map for them as GG's come out, and there's going to be a surrender vote from Infinite Odds.
And at 24-6, at 5-1 in turret, somewhat anticlimactically, Cognitive will take out Infinite Odds for their